Good afternoon, Yuri-Nation. Now, if you're watching this, you and I both have probably fell for the greatest scam of the 21st century. No, not NFTs, but the great swindler, the great pretender, AAA games. I haven't seen one this year that was not disappointing. Every year, they're chugging out the same shit with the same formula, boring you into submission and being the cost of an arm and a leg. At this point, EA and Ubisoft games are basically filters to weed out the weak and pick out the strongest, most die-hard fans to be enlisted in their own private gamer armies to fight in the upcoming metaverse war, sponsored by Mark Zuckerberg. Watch Dogs was like walking in circles, and Far Cry 6 I bought just to get some sweet Giancarlo action, which was more or less the same disappointment. A few months ago in April or May, when NFTs started to make their appearance like Godzilla coming out of the water, I asked my friend, hey, which AAA company do you think is gonna milk the fuck out of those NFT titties? And my first guess was obviously EA. I thought they were gonna sell you some golden football in FIFA with Messi's pubes attached to it. But who'd have thought? My first guess was wrong. My second guess was the first one to beat on this horse, Ubisoft. Oh boy, no dislikes. I'm sure this is a banger in the community. Thank you, YouTube. Now, you may know non-fungible token or NFTs from those famous pictures of monkeys that look like they're having a stroke. But NFTs are more than just that. I'm not going to get into details of it, but NFTs are unique digital assets. Remember that unique part. It's going to come in important later on. An NFT can be an original song, a domain name, anything you want. And NFTs aren't just unique in the presentation and the visuals of it, because each NFT has its own, let's call it a code, that can be used to easily identify it. And when you buy it, that code is assigned to you and just you, unless of course you sell it or give it away to someone else. Now, for example, this cumsock is A59 and this cumsock is A37. They may look the same, but they each have different codes. This is mine and this belongs to my neighbor Joseph. And no hate on NFTs because I personally own some myself. And I know the world's giving you a hard time for being an NFT lover, but don't worry, my NFT bros. This is a safe space and you're welcome here. And this is where Ubisoft shows that their NFT efforts are extremely half-assed, and this is basically the resurrection of loot boxes, but a million times much worse. Because sure, you can sell NFTs that look exactly the same, but you're probably going to piss off a lot of people, since the whole trend of having NFTs is like having your own one with its unique variations. Like this one, this dude's got a cute little hat and golden teeth, and this dude is a cyborg who just saw an extremely hot monkey and his eyeballs are prolapsing. But Ubisoft, I am not about to spend an arm and a leg to get a GIMP suit. And remember that unique aspect of NFTs I mentioned? Well, when everybody owns the same version of the exact same looking BDSM bottom suit, how do you make it unique? Ha! They put a freaking serial number, no additional design, no variations, nothing, just a serial number on your forehead, having everyone walk around like Agent 47 from Hitman. Having everyone walking around with numbers on them like Squid Game. Plus, I just thought of this one like right now, but in an online game setting, having a number on your forehead for everyone to see and to identify you, you'd best expect a buffet of tea bags and half the lobby hunting you down. Oh, the more I think about this, the more reasons this is bad keep popping up into my head that I did not write down in my script. The tech, the sustainability, even the design all scream lazy capitalist cash grab. And I stand by the idea that they're trying to build a submissive and breedable Ubisoft gamer army. But I made this video wanting to talk about NFTs being the future of scummy game practices and capitalism cash grabs, which brings me to the topic of NFT games. While recording this, news broke out that a mob of Ubisoft fans broke into the Ubisoft headquarters, holding the CEO captive until they removed this feature. I'm kidding, but of course Ubisoft pulled the plug after the community finally reacted the way they should react to late-stage capitalism and wanton greed. Anyways, back to NFT games. NFT games already exist, but Ubisoft's efforts, although they failed, is a bad sign that AAA gaming companies are already heading towards that direction of NFTs, and NFTs in AAA games might just be the final straw that breaks the gaming industry's back. So imagine Pokemon, where every dude you capture is going to be in your Pokeball and will be yours and yours alone. Of course, you can trade it with other people, but the important part is your Snorlax is going to stay as your Snorlax, and it's going to look just like everyone else's Snorlax out there. Now, imagine if your Snorlax had a different pattern to someone else's Snorlax. Imagine yours has a patch of yellow on his back, or instead of the pointy Snorlax ears, his ears are floppy and go all the way down to his neck. That's basically the concept behind the most successful NFT game, Axie Infinity, and one I'm into, which honestly I got in just for the memes, Krabada, where you get monsters with different types and each have a unique randomly generated features, just like the ape NFT. So you play with these bastards of evolution and you gain this in-game currency as you play. Difference is this in-game currency can be sold on cryptocurrency marketplaces and be exchanged for other cryptocurrencies. And those cryptocurrencies can then be exchanged for real-world money, giving this in-game currency, this smooth love potion, a real-world value. They call this play to earn, where you basically get some value out of playing the game. And this is the concept that most crypto games are going for. And I've seen a variety of play-to-earn games, some ranging from the quality of a small indie developer to basically being a reskin of Mario 64. The only caveat with these games is you have to chuck in a donkey amount of money before you even play the game, with the cheapest Axie monster costing around $300 and the cheapest Krabada costing about $1,000 at the moment. Oh, and you need a tree of these monsters at least to get one team to play the game, which is already more than most people's average salary. But if you play often, you can usually remake your investment's worth in the first few months or so. I don't have to tell you the ire and rage that will be seething out of gamers' ass mouths if a AAA game ever forced the players to put an upfront payment before even playing the game. And knowing the ethics of AAA gaming companies, they'd probably still charge you to just own the game data files. But the cake on top of the cherry and the most likely outcome if NFTs ever became a norm in AAA games is the rebirth, the second coming of pay-to-win games. In Krabada, different attributes of the crab give better stats. Better stats means higher chance to beat other players and win, which also means that that crab will be worth much more on the marketplace. While most people are okay with this in the context of crypto games as it's just the nature of the game, can you imagine the absolute curb stomping that will happen in an online multiplayer NFT game? Let's say there's an online multiplayer game, and in this game there's an NFT gun called the Ass Blaster, and the Ass Blaster is so extremely overpowered you can win any game as long as you have it. The only way you'd lose is if you were an actual infant. So the people that own the Ass Blaster start to realize how strong it is, and they start overinflating the price in the NFT marketplace all the way to high hell. After all, it's my gun. I don't want to sell it for $5, I want to sell it for at least $5,000. And other players that haven't found this gun in-game are just so desperate, but they want to win games. And whoever has the most cash to throw out can just buy the Ass Blaster and start winning every single match. While rare and powerful items being sold for currency is common in games like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, those games do not have real-world value attached to the currency in their games. But NFTs can be traded for cryptocurrencies, and cryptocurrencies can be traded for real-world money, thus giving it real-world value as well. Oh boy, we'll have another case of the Diablo auction house and maybe even the CSGO gambling site. And one last note before I stop, NFT marketplaces are simple. You just go there and set up shop. Maybe you pay a transaction fee here or there, but nobody can control the value of your products and you can set the price for your products. But when your in-game NFT is tied to a AAA company and the game's performance, you're basically under the foot of the developers. On a whim, they can adjust the stats of a cheap piece of armor that you already sold and suddenly make it into a must-have item. Or they can just increase the drop rate of a really rare item that you have, thus diluting the value of yours. Any form of manipulation they want, they can do it, all while profiting from it. Which kind of just defeats the purpose and concept of cryptocurrency, so yeah. So thanks for watching and listening to my rant about AAA games and NFTs. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, leave a comment because I would love to hear your thoughts. And one last thing, fuck Facebook.